Hey guys, today we're going to talk about how to fill a raised bed, the best practices. Hey guys, welcome back to Horticulture Geek. I'm Ray, and thank you so much for joining me today in the garden. Today we are doing kind of part 2 of our Veggiga metal raised bed installation. In part 1, you saw me assemble the raised bed and talk about why I chose it and where I got it from. This is from Veggiga.com, and I do have a 10% off promotional code if you want to order one of these raised beds or any one of their other raised bed products. You can use the code HortGeek10 or follow the link down below this video that will take you straight to Veggiga.com's website to order. But today we're going to talk about best practices for filling up your raised bed. When we talk about filling a raised bed or large containers, some people have a tendency to tell you to fill the bottom of a container with rocks or water bottles or some sort of trash, recyclables type of thing. You don't really want to do that in a scenario like this, because your goal is to get as much soil in there for your roots systems of your plants to grow, to be able to establish themselves, and for this raised bed to be able to maintain good moisture. If you fill half of this raised bed or a large container with some sort of material that's not soil or dirt, what you'll find is that it drains water, it loses all of its water, it won't hold on to that moisture very well, and you're giving your plants a very narrow growing zone, so the roots have trouble getting established. So in this raised bed, what I have done, and you can see I've already got started, it's already got some soil in here. I did put a layer of organic matter on the bottom. One school of thought is to do what's called Horticulture, and I've talked about Horticulture in previous videos. That's where you lay large sticks and limbs, logs, firewood sized pieces per se of wood along the bottom of the bed. And as that breaks down, it adds that nutrients back in there, but it takes a lot of volume up so that you can still have a good planting zone. But in this situation, I did not have large sticks, limbs, branches, firewood on hand, but I did have organic matter. I'm gonna have Mrs. Horticulture Geek kind of look right down here, and you can see there's a green plastic composter right down there. So that green plastic box is a composting area. And so what I put in there are my yard clippings, so my grass clippings, my fall leaves that I mow my fall leaves and break them up, and I put all of that organic matter into my composter. I periodically add bone meal to that composter. The nitrogen and bone meal helps to break those materials down. Now, the compost that's in there right now is not fully broke down plantable compost, but it is still good organic matter. So I did put a layer of that shredded leaves and grass on the bottom of this raised bed, just to give me an organic bed to take up a small zone, not very much. And then I started putting in my potting mix. I used this Stay Green potting mix. I picked this up at a local big box store. This bag of dirt cost me $13, and it took me 5 bags to fill the raised bed up to this level. And as you can see, I still have a pretty good lip in there. Now at the end, I still want to maintain about a 1/2 inch to 1 inch lip around this raised bed. I don't want it to all come up to the very tip-top edge. Now the next thing that I'm going to be putting in here is Espoma's Land and Sea Organic Compost. This is supposedly one of the best organic composts on the market to date. Lots of gardeners and professionals absolutely rave about this product. And because they rave about this product, it can be hard to get your hands on this. I finally found a garden center here locally that carries this, and I was able to go over there and pick up 5 bags of this compost. So I'm gonna put several bags of this compost here. And this is well-aged compost. It's perfectly able to be planted right in. So I don't necessarily have to mix my potting soil and my compost together, but I will churn it a little bit and raise it up. So now I'm just gonna get several bags of the organic compost into the raised bed, and we're gonna get that soil worked in, and I've got some tomatoes and some jalapenos that we're gonna plant in our raised bed today. So I'm gonna set you guys up and just kind of let you watch me do the rest of this process. Here we go. All right, so I've got the bed filled now enough. You saw me put some more potting soil in here, and you saw me put the compost in here. And I did a little mix up, so now this is ready to plant. I am still going to use my organic Biotone starter fertilizer. This is a good, rich bed. It's got good compost in it. It's got good soil in it, but I still want to give the plant roots a boost and give that plant something to get started with. So a good starter fertilizer such as this is still going to be really useful in this situation. So now all I've got to do is I'm just literally going to put a scoop of Biotone right where I want my plants to be. And then I'm just going to get in here and mix it up real good and create a plant well. And we are going to get these plants into the ground. So it's as simple as that. Here we go. All right, guys, that's all it is to it. We've now got our bed filled with soil and planted, and we're ready to see what we can grow out of this Veggiego raised bed this year. All right, guys, I've moved over here and got a chair on the patio to wrap this video up. I hope you enjoyed seeing me kind of get the Veggiego raised bed filled up and planted today. You know, a takeaway from this video, if you are someone who is looking to buy a raised bed, or maybe you have new containers and wanting to know, what do I do to fill it up? You know, you'll find lots of tips and tricks out there to fill up a raised bed or large containers. But honestly and truly, the best thing to do is, if that it is in your budget at all, is to completely fill those things with soil. It really does benefit your plants in the long run to have more soil around their roots, so they can have better control of the moisture, more growing space for the root systems to stretch out. Now, if you just don't absolutely have it in the budget and you need to fill your beds with something besides soil, like I mentioned a second ago, try the Horticulture method. If you can get your hand on some, you know, old firewood, limbs, sticks, branches, put all that in the bottom to fill some space, like I did in mine. If you have organic matter, old leaves, old grass clippings that you can put in the bottom, because those things are going to continue to break down. The wood, the sticks, so the Horticulture method, or just the grass clippings and leaves and stuff, that's organic matter. It's going to continue to break down. So over time, your soil level in the top of your bed or pot will settle, as you can top it off, but you periodically need to top your beds off with fresh compost anyway. So that is really a self-fulfilling problem there that is not really one that you need to worry about, because putting fresh compost constantly into your planting areas is good garden practice anyway. So if you account for that on the front end, then using that Horticulture method or just that organic matter method to start a bed is completely fine, knowing that the second or third year you may just need to put a little more compost or potting soil to replenish than you normally would on a regular year. But once you get that bed going, it's just going to produce so much better for you than it would if you filled it up with old plastic bottles or rocks or something like that. You really have to be careful filling things with that material, so I wanted to get that message out there to you. If that's all you've got, then you do what you know you are feeling like you need to do. My one recommendation for that would be to just keep a good check on your moisture, because when you're narrowing your soil area, your planting area, you may have a situation where you can overwater, and the water near the roots can create root rot because it's setting there. Or you can create a situation where you've got so much matter in there that all your water that you put in your top layer of soil just drains right out, and your plants really never get watered because their roots don't have enough time to soak it up. So if you're going to put non-organic materials in a bed to fill it up, really, really watch your water and get to know that bed and what it's going to take to make your plants happy. But I hope that you enjoyed seeing me fill this one up. Like I said, it wasn't very expensive. This Veggica raised bed that I picked up, like I said, it took me about 5.5 bags of potting soil. That's a 2 cubic foot bag. I had a layer of organic matter in the bottom, and then I put 2 bags of compost in there as well. The potting soil, like I said, cost me $13 at a big box store. And then the organic compost, the land and sea compost, I think it was $14 for that smaller bag. So, you're looking at $100-ish by the time you do taxes and all that to fill up a bed that size with good soil. So if that's in your budget, that's my recommendation all the way. Like I said, that is a Veggica.com raised metal garden bed. If you are interested in that, don't forget my 10% off code is HortGeek10. Obviously, you're watching Horticulture Geek, and it's a 10% off discount. So HortGeek10 is your promo code to get 10% off of your order at Veggica.com. And for your convenience, I'm dropping a link under this video where you can go right to Veggica's website and look at all their wonderful products and see if something would fit your needs at your home. I hope you have enjoyed this video. I hope it has inspired you and been helpful to you. Get out in your gardens. There's still time. We're in the month of July, but as you can see, I'm still planting stuff. There's still time to get a harvest in before first frost. So don't think it's necessarily too late now, but just start looking at things to plant because there's definitely time. So I hope that you've liked it and this has inspired you. Give me that thumbs up if you have, and leave any questions or comments that you have for me down below. I think that's gonna wrap it up for me today here in the garden. So until next time, from my garden to yours, I wish you all the best and happy gardening.